Getting your online ecom brand into big box retailers sounds like the dream, right? But what if I told you that it could actually come with significant downfalls for your brand in the long run? Before you bring your ecom brand into into retail in general, watch this video. I'm breaking down the biggest pitfalls and how to do it hopefully the right way. I'm Jassim Isa, CEO and founder of Adira, an Amazon e-commerce business that generated over $70 million in sales last year. We've worked with dozens of brands, some of them already in retail, some of them trying to get into retail, and others that are even had the implications of retail go wrong for them, and we're working on fixing that. In this video, I will share what I've learned so far, and so hopefully you can navigate retail smart way and start off on the right foot. Actually, a few weeks ago, I was at a trade show in Florida. I was speaking to brands that are looking to get into it, and they were underestimating the significance of this. So that's what motivated me to do this video. Here's some of the main things that I want to go over. So most e-commerce brands assume retail is just a bigger version of online sales or just additional distribution. But there's more to know about it. Getting into retail actually takes more work, way more work than you think. There's trade shows that you're gonna have to attend. There's merchant buyers, they call them, and there's decision makers. And usually the buying season is only once a year, so you're gonna have to attend trade shows possibly 3, 4 times. These only happen once a year. To establish your name, get that relationship, it's a huge hassle to get to the right decision maker, especially when you're talking about bigger box retailers like Costco, Walmart, Target, to get to the right people and to get to the right exposure to eventually get in there. So that's the first thing, is just to understand the amount of effort it's going to take. And it's obviously going to take away resources from your online presence. So hopefully that's already running smoothly, so you can dedicate resources towards that. The second thing is margins are deceiving. Amazon, you can just simply go use the Amazon FBA calculator, for example, and you get a very rough idea of what your fees are. Yeah, you have to be a little bit more cautious inbound placement fees, but generally it's pretty good. But there's also many hidden fees in retail. There's a lot of them. It's not are like, I'm just gonna name off a few of the big ones. There's slotting fees, marketing co-op fees, where you pay a portion of marketing, product returns, where overstock, damage, chargebacks, distributor cuts if you have a distributor in the middle, even payment terms. These bigger businesses, they're expecting very favorable payment terms, up to 90-day payment. 90-day net terms is very common. So there's a few middlemen to get to the right decision maker. There's distributors, there's brokers. All these people are going to ask for their fees appropriately. So keep that in mind. So also the other thing is operational demands. You have to understand that the retail and exposure, you have to have a little bit of units in a lot of stores. You can't have, for like, it's similar to FBA now where they're sending your units to a lot of stores, but you have to consider the same thing for retail, where you have to have 3PLs. We know certain 3PLs that you can partner with where they're distributing your products. They have other big brands, so they're allocating everything together and sending it to certain stores together, which makes it much more convenient and much more costly. But also the production, the negotiation, there's a lot of operational uh, power that, or operational constraints that come with doing that as well. And then also you have to understand that retail is a long-term commitment. Unlike Shopify, Amazon, Walmart Marketplace, even Target Plus, where you can list a few units, try things out, see how the traction is, look at the marketing. It's not the same thing. Retail orders, they're signing big contracts, they're putting in big orders, tens of thousands of units. You can't just pull your foot back after you fulfill that PO, or put things down like, and let's try another thing. It's much harder to test and iterate. And then the biggest thing and the biggest downfall, honestly, this is the most important one, is losing control of your brand. Big box retailers, they're not prioritizing their brand. They're going to prioritize their store. Target is going to prioritize their store. Your brand is one of thousands of brands in their store. So that's going to include things like brand exposure. The biggest one we've seen is map control, map erosion. Your price, can no longer control it because of arbitrages, where once your product hits retail, you cannot control pricing anymore. They're gonna, if your products aren't moving fast enough for any ever reason, let's say Black Friday comes around, they can discount it significantly. It becomes lucrative for arbitrage buyers, flippers. They're gonna buy it, and they're gonna end up back online. So if you don't manage it properly, your own products will end up back in your listing. And I'm going to get into this a little bit more as well. So how do you get into retail the right way? There's a few of the things that we some like small pointers. You can leverage your online success. So that's where you can, if you have thousands of reviews on your Amazon listing, you have a unique value proposition, why your product is a good fit for them. A lot of that stuff where it could help make your way smoother to getting into retail. Use obviously LinkedIn, trade shows. A lot of those people, they live on LinkedIn. The salespeople, I know there is not the most perhaps a transparent platform, but that's the reality of it. You have to live there, and it's a lot of it was about relationships. A lot of these people have had the positions for 20 years, and even the brokers, the main reason you get them is because they have relationships with the people there. So that's some of the things. I'm not the biggest. We're not there. We're not. That's not our specialty. Like, or myself, getting into retail, but that's some of those things that our brands have done, and that's gotten them really successful to get into that realm. So here's what you can do to avoid those pitfalls that I mentioned earlier, and to have a successful retail launch. Things that we've done with our brands, and things that we've learned from others as well. So we mentioned the biggest risk was obviously map erosion, price erosion, where you're selling it to the store. The store does a discount, becomes profitable. Usually, if the store is going to sell your products, this is just a general rule of thumb, 50% less than what you're selling on Amazon. So let's say it's on Amazon 50, and let's say Walmart is offering it for less than 50%, so less than 25 bucks. The more it's less than that, the more likely that someone's going to buy it for a profitable opportunity to sell it on Walmart. The first sale doctrine is going to protect them. They're buying it legitimately. There's nothing wrong with what they're doing. So you're going to see that listing, those products that you sold to Walmart, end up there. And never mind if you're using distributors, that's a huge, like if you're using Kihi or Super Value, those are, they're like, it's very quickly your product can just be everywhere, and you're going to see them again. So how do you navigate this? There's a few ways. Either the gap of 50%, you don't let that happen. So you lower your price on Amazon a little bit more, where it's not lucrative for arbitrage buyers. So if you know Walmart has it for 20, you should probably in the meantime lower your price to 40 or 35, just so it's not lucrative for that discount time. At least make a good relationship so you know what it's priced there, so no one thinks it's attractive. Or you can maybe, and this is obviously the preferred method, but it's much harder, is to try to sell it for a little bit higher, where Walmart or Target or Costco think twice about having to get to that lower price. But usually these big box retailers are going to demand margins for volume because they're placing large orders. They know that. So they're going to take you to the back door and beat you up kind of for their pricing that they want. Other key protections, using different UPCs. So this is something we've seen brands, so they have a UPC for Amazon, Walmart Marketplace, Target, a different one for stores. This is a little bit grayer. It depends. You have to do it right, and we have SOPs on doing this necessarily in the right way. But also there's having different variations. So the 3-pack is on Amazon, the 2-pack is on Walmart per se, or the blue color is on your Shopify store, the red color is in Target. So that way you can get creative with variations. Another thing is, this is obviously the dream, but getting your product soft or hard gated, it's much harder. There's a counterfeit crimes unit that can, if your product is consistently counterfeited, you can maybe get a relationship in there and they can hard gate it. Even that way, no one can just list on Amazon. Your product comes restricted for them. That's the term. So there's soft and hard restrictions, and I have another video talking about that actually. Also, I might make no, actually, I am planning to make a video soon about brand protection in general, how to maintain being the only seller, control your brand even after. So just know it, as a rule of thumb, the more your distribution chains are, the bigger your brand, the harder it is to control the brand. It's kind of the harsh reality. Obviously, everyone wants to get bigger, but that's it's you can still do things to minimize it, but you're gonna eventually deal with it as well. There's also joining Amazon's transparency program, where they charge a couple cents a unit. It's not going to be as helpful, but it can also just serve as an extra barrier for anyone that's looking to flip it. It's an extra hassle for them to buy it. They have to go through the transparency, submit the codes, etc. So who have we seen have the most successful retails? Obviously, people that do what we just mentioned above, but also that they're scalable operations, so they can handle having their products that they have online, basically automated. It's growing, it's maintaining, but so now they can have time to do that. They partnered with someone, they have reliable resources to run that operation. And that's what actually one of our specialties over there is, partnering with people so that they can have the ability to expand into retail and walking them through that process when they reach that stage. But usually if you're just launching and starting, you establish your presence first, prioritize the online marketplaces. Once you do that, it becomes easier to get into online because you have that social proof. You have those reviews, as I mentioned earlier. They use trusted brokers. So this is where relationships are a big deal. They make things easier. They're getting you to the right people. You're not talking to the wrong person for months on end. They're getting you to the right person. They're very good at negotiators. They have that long-term length to basically patience to deal with things. And they actually use retail as a plan to push the customers back to them. So maybe they have their brand names on there, their website's on the packaging, they have something on there so that when the customer goes to their website, they're subscribing to them. Let's say it's a consumable. They're then from there on out, they knew them from Target because it had good shelf location, but then they're continuously buying from the store itself, from the directly from the brand itself, to say. So these are some things that you have to kind of get intact, but it's gonna help in the long term. So obviously, big box retail is massive opportunity. Every brand should pursue it. Just make sure that you have these things tightened up. Know your numbers, understand the pricing, look at that contract very thoroughly. It's a big commitment. Make sure that your margin is actually there. What is it going to be if our products get discontinued? How much are we going to lose? Ceiling, floor, all that kind of stuff. Protect your pricing. That's very, and try to obviously start small. Maybe local chains. If you're Walmart, a few ones here. If it doesn't go well, you can pull it back, launch it again. But that's obviously testing and iterating is always the best way to go about it. So if you're looking to grow your brand into big box retailers, partner with Videra. We'll handle everything online for you and actually give you guidance on helping you get through that step, giving you some advice. Speak to someone from Videra.com, book a strategy call, and write this in the message that you're looking to talk about retail, and we'll have the right person talk to you regarding this as well. And then, so if you found this video helpful, like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I reply to every single comment, and appreciate you for watching.